Oh, welcome, welcome. What am I doing on the floor, I hear you ask? Well, the guys at Brooks have emailed me the Ghost 16 running shoes, so I'm trying to dig it out of my inbox. 1 second. There you go. There you go. That there is the Ghost 16. There we go. We're ready for a review. Now, let me say this. That is the Ghost Max, my favorite shoe from Brooks. This is the 16. We need to talk. So, let's talk. Hey, before we get started, some disclosures, because disclosures are becoming a real thing on my channel. This was the first shoe Brooks sent me. That, the Ghost Max. And then when I heard the release in the 16, I called them up, they emailed me. You saw me pulling it out of the inbox. 16, there. That's what we want to talk about today. But disclosures are important. They've sent these shoes out for me. They didn't tell me what to say. I got my own opinion. Now this one worked really well. Whereas this one, I kind of compare it to like country music and rock music. Perfect, just not for me. Let's talk. Hey, so how did I test the shoe? Well, I got about 40K running in the Ghost 16. 4 different runs. Let's start with this one. Hold on. Bang. 10K, easy-ish. I say easy-ish, pay close attention to these paces. I wanted to do an easy run, but see how it copes with the faster paces. So you can see 10K done, the 5th K done at 523 per K pace. 7th K tried to beat that at 508. And then the 9th K tried to beat that, finished off 453 per K before taking it easy again to zone 2, 830 per K pace. So it was easy-ish with some very fast splits in there. It held up very well. It's a great shoe, don't get me wrong, but it's still country, it's still rock and roll music, whilst this guy over here is into Burna Boy. I'll explain that in a second. The next run I did, now run number 2 was actually fun. And I was really happy to take the Ghost 16 for this. It was actually my lactate threshold test using my Garmin app. So there. You start to see the distance, and every once in a while as you go, the Garmin app progressively steps up the pace. It actually held up really, really well. So for the faster kind of pacey runs, I think it performed really, really well. It was the 3rd run that kind of did me in. Listen to this. Now the next run, no shoe could have saved me. It was tough. 12K run in total. Hold on. There. 2K warm up, and then 7 sets of 1K at 445, 200 meters at 415, right? Repeat that 7 times. And then 1.6 cool down. I failed. I couldn't do all of that. It's nothing to do with the shoe. However, the feeling I got afterwards is what I'm going to talk about in terms of my review of the Ghost 16. Just remember, Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, right, that's all I know. It's country music, bro. While over here, I'm Burna Boy. I'll explain in a second, I promise you. Oh, and then the last run. Look, bang. 3K warm up, and then 8 reps of 45 seconds sprinting up this hill. Actually, hold on, let me pop the elevation. This wasn't a joke. And then 6 reps of 90 seconds up the hill. This really, really hurt. I can't remember the cool down. At that point, I was done. It didn't matter what cool down I did. I knew I was done. And doing all of this in the Brooks Ghost 16, so probably the lactate threshold test, which I mixed in paces, getting faster, as well as this hill one, it performed really well. But I missed cushioning. And that's the point I want to talk about. My name is Aubrey, I'm a runner and I'm good with being me. On this one, I want to give you my felt experience, what it was like running in Brooks's latest daily trainer, the Ghost 16. Now, if you're looking for a video that tells you what the shoe is about, the specs, the price, the drop, I've already done that video. The link is going to pop up here. I'll link it at the end as well as in the description below. This one is truly a review, my non-biased felt experience. Now, context. Let me tell you about the kind of daily trainers I run in. That's the Gel Nimbus 25. And that's the Eclipse. More V4 from New Balance. Nike Invincible 3. You see where I'm going with this, or do you need me to explain? Essentially, look at the midsoles, the stack heights of these shoes. Even Brooks' own, the Ghost Max. I love this simply because of that padding. Now, why is that? I'm a bigger guy. I'm a new to average runner, and I must admit, I haven't built up my leg strength to where it needs to be. I'm working on it. So I find myself getting shin splints, all sorts of discomfort in my legs, and minimalistic midsoles. Now, let me say this now, that the Ghost 16 is a massive leap when compared to the 14 and the 15, simply because they've introduced a new midsole. It's a nitrogen-infused DNA Loft version 3. That is the massive change here. But I must admit, despite how good this shoe is, it's not my type of shoe. That doesn't make it a bad shoe. It just means I'm the guy reviewing it, you're on my video, and I want my felt experience. Look, the whole objective of this video is what was it actually like running in the shoes? And I have to tell you, I did several types of workouts, very slow, easy runs, intervals where I varied the pace, as well as some very hard, tough workouts in terms of pace. It performs very well where you need ground feel and a secure hold, owing to three things. The upper, the way they've designed it, is a very nice hold. It laces very well, very simplistically, and it gives you a secure hold. I'm not complaining one bit. The midsole. That's the headline. That is the biggest change in the Brooks Ghost 16. They've introduced DNA Loft V3. It's a nitrogen-infused midsole that you're going to find in the Glycerin, the latest version. And I think this is the midsole they should stick with. I just would have preferred to have that in this shoe at this stack height. That to me will have been a perfect formula. And I have to say, the way it feels, if you compare it to the 14, 15, this is exactly what you need. Unfortunately, the stack height, being 12 mil at the 4-foot, for me, is just a little too little. The other thing I want to say, I said three things, is this outsole. That is amongst the best I've got on my daily trainers. That's going to be durable. It grips perfectly. I'm not complaining one bit about this outsole. So when you combine those three things, I think it makes for a very good shoe. But I've sort of dwelled on this country music, rock and roll analogy. Why is it not my type of shoe? For a daily trainer, I look for the midsole, the comfort, the cushioning in it. But that's just me. And I want to get back to the point of these reviews. That's why I released a whole separate video to tell you the intention of this shoe that Brooks had in releasing this shoe. The intention was, it's a daily trainer that is now moderately cushioned when you compare it to the previous versions. And it's there to just put the shoe on and get your everyday miles in. It does that job very well. But for me, a bigger build, I will always go for the Ghost Max. So for me, if you're asking me, if you're gonna buy a daily trainer from Brooks, this is definitely gonna be my recommendation, and I will not be reaching for this one as much. With that said, very quickly, run through things I like, things I didn't like. I love the security this shoe gives you. For running, more importantly, I've done a lot of walking in this shoe, and I have to tell you, the redesign of it also stops giving you these dad vibes. I love that. Other thing I like, they've improved the midsole. You have to acknowledge that. But for me, I would have liked it to see it on a higher stack height. 12 mil at the 4-foot just isn't enough for me. And I felt it. Bang. The outsole. This is absolutely best in class. I have to give it up for Brooks for working it out. What don't I like? Well, I have to say, it's not as cushioned as I would like it to be. That's going to be the main thing. The price point, £135, you can't argue with how good that is. Well done, Brooks. So for me, I'm going to give this shoe a very good rating, but I have to put a disclaimer out and say it's not my kind of shoe, and that's okay. It'll be good for someone else if you try it out. But for me personally, if you're going to get a Brooks shoe, let's not talk about it. Bang. That's the shoe to get. And I told you that I released another video telling you about the specs and what this shoe is designed for, well, there you go. Click on that and you can watch that next. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you on the next one.